Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today I just want to share with you some lifestyle practices for healing from complex chronic illness. Now, some of these you've probably heard of, but I just want to share them with you again here to remind you of their importance. And I also want to share some things that may also be new to you. So, as many of you guys who are battling a chronic illness know, healing isn't just about taking the right medicines. It's not about the right drug protocol or supplement protocol, but healing is the sum total of your beliefs, your thoughts, your words, your behaviors, and many other things. And so the way you live is just as important as what you do medically to get well. And I just want to say, first and foremost, I believe that cultivating a relationship with the God of the universe is the most important thing that you can do to heal on all three parts of who you are: spirit, soul, and body. And in my new teaching program, A Top-Down Approach to Healing, Spirit, Soul, and Body, I share with you more about this and how and why God's Spirit within you can heal you supernaturally. And so you can learn more about that program at conniestrassheim.org. But in the meantime, I just want to share with you an excerpt from one of the teachings in that program. And that's about just different ways to live that promote healing in your physical body. And the first thing that I want to share with you, and this is probably the most important thing, is that you want to go about your day with a sense of calm and a sense of peace. And the way you can do this is by starting off by spending your day in prayer and with God, because this will help to set the tone for the rest of your day. And when your limbic system, when your autonomic nervous system rather, is calm, then this promotes healing in your body. So many of us, when we go about our days, we rush, we just labor to get things done out of a spirit of anxiety. And so that's the thing that you want to change. Negative thoughts may tend to bombard you if you're battling a neurological disease, or maybe they do anyway. And so where that's the case, you want to spend time with God. You might even want to practice spirit-led brain retraining, because this will help to calm your autonomic nervous system so that whatever you do throughout the day, you do out of a greater sense of calm and peace. And to maintain that sense of calm and peace, you also want to not cram too many activities into your schedule. Now, if you're like me, you might do this because you fear not getting your work done, and then that triggers survival fears. But know that there's plenty of time to get everything done. You need to tell yourself this, and know that God will help you to do everything that you need to do when you trust Him, when you look to Him, when you spend time with Him. When we can eliminate distractions from our lives, we often become a lot more efficient in our work and the things that we have to do day to day. So just know that. But when you cram too many activities into your daily schedule, this ends up burning you out, and you end up getting more fatigued over the long run, which doesn't benefit you in your healing. So just know that, and ask God daily, what is it that He wants you to do? Sometimes we forsake what's important for what we think is urgent, but if the urgent always crowds out what's important, then ultimately I think this hurts us in the long run. So the devil wants you to think that you have to do everything within a certain amount of allotted time. And sometimes we really do have deadlines, but sometimes our deadlines are also self-imposed. So really just consider that, and know that the enemy wants to do everything he can to take away your downtime, to take away your quiet time with God. And so I want to encourage you to not allow him to do that, because your relationship with God is the most important thing that you have, and the most important way in which you can spend your time daily. Now, in addition to that, I want to encourage you guys to get outside in the sunshine and exercise. And this sounds really obvious, but we were created to live outdoors. Our first ancestors, Adam and Eve, lived in a garden. They lived outdoors, and they walked with God in the cool of the day. In the cool of the day, as the word says. And so even in wintertime, if you can bundle up and just go outside for a short period of time daily, I believe this can do wonders for your spirit, your soul, and your body. Our bodies were also created to move, and we develop more health problems when we don't move. Now, if you guys are sick, I know that it might be hard to get out and move about, but even if you can just do, let's say, a 5-minute walk 3 times a day, I believe this can be incredibly beneficial for you because when you walk, you oxygenate your cells. When you walk in the sunshine, you fuel your mitochondria, which are those little organelles inside your cells that basically give your cells energy. And so both exercise and sunshine will fuel your mitochondria. And when your mitochondria work better, then your cells more effectively uptake nutrients and hormones and remove cellular waste. And so that's a really big deal. And so I want to encourage you to move however possible. And even if that means just like lying in bed and doing some bike pedaling from your bed, then this can also be really beneficial. And by the way, bike pedaling also stimulates your lymphatic system and the movement of lymph through your lymphatic system. So however you can do it, just move daily, get out in the sunshine and exercise. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is to get off your blue light gadgets at least a couple hours before bedtime. That means staying off your computer, your cell phone, even your TV. And this is for a couple of reasons. Number one, these gadgets emit electromagnetic fields and blue light, which keeps you awake at night. And so your brain, in the evening, it wants to wind down. But what these gadgets do instead is they stimulate it so that your brain thinks it's daytime when it's really midnight. And the other reason is because these gadgets can be a distraction. And I think social media can be very useful, but people are becoming addicted to social media. They're forsaking real face-to-face relationships with other people to spend time on social media. They are forsaking their time with God, their relationship with God, to spend time on social media. And so when social media replaces face-to-face relationships with people, when it replaces your time with God, it's not a good thing. And I truly believe that there are addictive frequencies that are programmed into our cell phones on purpose to get us addicted to our phones. But, research has actually shown that social media increases depression and anxiety in people. And I believe there are a number of reasons for this. But just know that you really want to limit your time on these things. And again, I believe they serve a purpose. Like I'm talking to you right now on social media, but you want to give yourself only a certain period of time throughout the day to use social media and then determine to spend the rest of your time on other things. And so I just want to say, especially before bed, don't spend too much time on your glowing gadgets if you want to get good sleep, because again, these will stimulate your pineal gland, and that is what will keep you awake at night. And so as a lifestyle practice, I encourage you to get off your phone, to get off your computer, and even get off your TV at least a couple of hours before going to bed. Now, another really important lifestyle practice that I want to encourage you to do is to go to bed and get up at the same time every day and eat your meals at the same time every day, because your body has a circadian rhythm that it likes to follow. The body likes routines. And your GI tract even has a circadian rhythm. And so when you eat at the same times every day, when you go to bed and get up at the same time every day, this actually fosters healing in your body. So if one night you go to bed at 2 a.m. and the next night 11 p.m. and then you get up at 8 and then you get up at 11, your body gets confused. And I want to just say, look at animals in nature. I once did a safari in Africa, and I noticed that all the animals, like the diurnal animals, the daytime animals, or those who are awake during the day, I should say, at 5 p.m. they would all go to the watering hole at the same time to drink. And it was fascinating because it was like as soon as the sun set, all the animals just went to the watering hole. And the same thing happened in the morning. So as soon as the sun came up, the animals rushed to the watering hole to drink. And so it's like they all have this internal clock that would tell them, okay, the sun's up, it's time to eat, or the sun's down, it's time to have dinner and then go to bed. And so we were actually designed to do the same thing. Now, in the way we live today, a lot of us go to bed many hours after dark, and we have dinner at midnight, or we get up at 11 a.m. or noon instead of, with the sun as God designed us to. And I understand when you're battling a chronic illness that your body will tend to flip its circadian rhythm. And many people, for instance, with Lyme disease and mold toxicity will have high cortisol at night and low cortisol in the morning. And so you'll want to go to bed late and then sleep in late. And that pattern can be difficult to change until you get more healing. But I want to encourage you as much as possible to establish a routine. And by the way, one trick I found for flipping my cortisol pattern was to take my thyroid hormone at 6 in the morning, which is several hours earlier than I would normally get up. And what this did is it stimulated my HPA axis to produce more cortisol so that I could actually have higher cortisol at 8 a.m. rather than low cortisol. And so HPA, or hypothalamic pituitary adrenal dysfunction, is very common in complex chronic illness. And if you take thyroid hormone, one way in which you may be able to resolve that dysfunction is to take your thyroid hormone a couple hours earlier, or maybe even more than that, than you normally would. So maybe about 2 hours before you want your body to produce cortisol. So if you normally get up, let's say at 10 a.m., you may want to take your thyroid hormone at 6 a.m., and then by 8 a.m., your body will, chances are it will produce a normal amount of cortisol. Try the experiment. Anyway, I found it really interesting because I always had low cortisol in the early morning until I started taking my thyroid hormone really early in the morning, and then that actually changed my cortisol patterns. So that's just something to think about, because cortisol is the hormone that gives you energy. And so if you want morning energy, you want to support your hormones early in the morning when God designed your body to be most active. And finally, I just want to recommend that you take some downtime every day, whether that's 30 minutes or an hour. And it sounds obvious, but you want to take time every day to relax and do something that you enjoy, because that helps you to have balance in your life. And I also want to encourage you, if you work, to take one full day off every single week to just spend time with God, to spend time with family and friends, because God created us to celebrate the Sabbath. So the Sabbath is actually Saturday. It's not Sunday like most of us celebrate it. But just do it on a day that works for you and honor God on that day. Take time off, because God's word says that even He rested on the seventh day, and He intends for us to do the same, because He knows that we're overburdened if we work 7 days a week. And He also wants us to take time out to think of Him, to spend time with Him, and to spend time with our loved ones. And I know that's not easy to do when you have a lot going on, when you've got, let's say, kids and a job, and you're trying to heal from a complex chronic illness. But as much as possible, try to take one day off during the week. And I guarantee you guys, as you do all of these things, this will work to improve your health by leaps and bounds. Don't underestimate the power of everything that I've shared with you in this video. I promise you, you'll make great gains in your healing if you do these things. And so anyway, I hope this has blessed you today. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. God bless you.